Recruiting in labor market. My name is Myling Paragama. My name is Jafet May Samson. My name is Mary Antoinette Rama.
My name is Makodni Pitutor.
Hey everyone, I am Myling Paragama, so my topic is all about recruiting. So recruitment is any practice or activity carried out by the organization with the primary purpose of identifying and attracting potential employees. Recruitment strategies or human resource policies are decisions that affect the practice and system that influence employees' behavior, attitude, and performance, would affect the nature of the vacancies for which people are recruited. This is based on quantity, quality, and effectiveness. So quantity is represented by the number of applicants and quality is represented by the types of applicants. And finally, effectiveness is represented by the likelihood of accepting offers who they are going to hire. Recruitment strategies include lead the market-based strategies, image, advertising, and emerging recruitment strategies. Recruiting is not always necessary. It is not necessary when the number of available candidates is the same number of people needed to hire. Let's proceed to HR. So what is the role of HR? HR role in recruiting often depends on the size of the organization. A large company may have one or more HR professionals devoted full-time to the task of recruiting. In small organization, an HR generalist may need to recruit on a sporadic basis. Regardless of the size of the employer, the fundamental recruitment such as use of job analysis and job descriptions, techniques including social media, and law will apply. HR must not only ensure compliance in the recruiting process but also act as a business partner with a strategic talent acquisition approach. Recruitment is the key role for HR professional because acquiring talent is essential for an organization to meet its goal and to succeed in the rapidly changing marketplace. So let's proceed to recruiting fundamentals. Employers generally use some combinations of internal and external recruitment tactics. Both approaches have certain basics in common. A foundation in rigorous job analysis, well-crafted job description, and compliance with applicable laws, especially equal employment opportunity laws. When a role needs to be filled, either externally or internally, HR should schedule an intake meeting with the hiring managers to learn more about the job, the essential requirements, and the profile of the ideal candidate. The recruiting strategy, how we are going to find these internal or external candidates can be discussed and expectation can be set. Using a checklist of questions and discussions topics to address during these meetings can help to capture the key elements and sending a follow-up email to hiring managers outlining the agreements and expectations that we are set during the meeting can ensure everyone is on the same page.
It refers to the supply and demand for labor which employees provide the supply and employers the demand. It is a major component of any economy, or in this case, company. Labor markets are very important in recruiting. Trying to recruit with a tight labor market is extremely difficult but not impossible. To do this, make sure to be ready to react when you get a yes, to be able to move the finalized candidate quickly to a new hire. You also should communicate really well with your bosses and potential candidates. Labor markets and recruiting affects who you have as your company's employees. Recruiting and labor markets recruitment is any practice or activity carried out by the organization with the primary purpose of identifying and attracting potential employees. Recruitment strategies or human resource policies are the decisions that affect the practices and systems that influence employees' behavior, attitudes, and performance, which affect the nature of the vacancies for which people are recruited. This is based on quantity, quality, and effectiveness. Quantity is represented by the number of applicants. Is represented by types of applicants or what they have to offer. Finally, effectiveness is represented by the likelihood of accepting offers who they are going to hire. Recruitment strategies include lead, the market, pay strategies, image, advertising, and emerging recruitment strategies. Recruiting is not always necessary. It is not necessary when the number of available candidates is the same as the number of people needed to be hired.
Labor markets. Mechanism through which human labor is bought and sold as a commodity means by which labor demand, or the number and type of available jobs, is matched with the labor supply or the number and type of available workers. Nature of interaction between organization and labor markets reflects choice of make or buy strategies for employees sourcing. One type of labor market is the external labor market. So under the external labor market are external supply of labor, the stock of available labor. Second, segmented labor market, geography, skills, educational level, and etc. Third, labor market power through legitimate and illegitimate means. Fourth is shaped by a range of processes which can be both planned and directed or largely uncontrolled and unpredictable. The fifth is reflexive relationship between the supply and demand for labor. Change and the labor market. So in economic change and the labor market, service dominated economy, advent of post industrialism or knowledge intensive economy, type of economically advanced social order in which the centrally important resource is knowledge. Service work has largely replaced manufacturing employment and knowledge-based occupation by a privileged role. Economic complexity and uncertainty. By scale labor market changes, Mac jobs and iMac jobs. Lastly, importance of thinking skills and person-to-person skills. Globalization of labor market. So, globalization of labor market is create the creating of significant interconnectedness of national and regional labor markets.
So, the internal labor market has the flexibility of organizational structure, and the flexibility of organizational structure contested argument that rigid bureaucratic organizational forms are inadequately adaptable. It also replaced with post-bureaucratic forms that are linear, flatter, and consequently more responsive, flexible, and focused. It also downsizing, right sizing, delayering, restructuring, business process reengineering, project working, and etc. It also implicates the work in terms of job content, employee motivation, job security, and organizational commitment. The internal labor markets also restructuring in the flexibility of the labor. So, in flexibility in the labor, the workforce flexibility and adaptability key to an organization's ability to respond to change. Second, the flexibility of labor is reflected in an employer's ability to recruit or dispose of labor as required, alter labor costs in line with market needs, allocate labor efficiently within the firm, and it also fixes working hours to suit business requirements, cost minimization or quality enhancement, and mutual gains. So here is the short summary of our topic. So, labor markets are highly fluid and unpredictable. The supply and demand for labor is subject to a range of pressures which form the conditions under which organizations manage their workforce. The knowledge economy has become a useful shorthand means of describing a set of processes shaping the labor market context of contemporary firms. By skill labor market changes, mock jobs or and IMAC jobs, and it also increased emphasizes on organizational and labor flexibility. Lastly, the variable impact on workers. That's all for our topic about recruiting in labor markets. Thank you.